Little trains in a big world, moving slow, chugging through valleys where no winds blow. Painted hills and plastic trees, quiet whispers of old memories. Little trains, little dreams, rolling softly through the seams. Tiny tracks in a giant land, guided gently by a steady hand. Accurately built with a craftsman's care, tiny bridges hanging in it.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Magnus's Goes Miniature. Now what you can see today is a Class 66 locomotive. I've picked this up cheap. It's not DCC ready, however it's DCC friendly, whatever that means. So first of all, I've already done it. These little bits here, which I'm not sure if you're going to actually be able to see, covered up these, which make it DC, but also is what makes this DCC ready. So basically they just took the track inputs, so the track power, straight through to the motor. What we're going to be doing is putting this DCC chip in between, using these, so then this will pick up the track power and this will control what goes on. Now, being N Gauge, it will be a bit of a tight squeeze. They always are, but it is going to be possible. Now I'm just going to turn the kitchen light on and get a bit more light in here. Oh, that made all the difference. So I don't have a magnifying glass, nothing like that. I've still got my shitty soldering iron, so this is going to be a good amount of fun. Originally, when I seen it, I thought I might have to take the wires off, and what I didn't realise it was actually DCC friendly. So I've got a step-by-step guide up on Hulkstone's models, and I'm going to follow their guide and hopefully do all this. Hopefully. So I've already done step 1, which is remove the body. Step 2, which is remove the brass clips, the 7 solder pins, which they are, and they join the pads together for DC operation, which I've already touched on. Using the diagram below, so there's 6 decoder wires to the PCB solder pads, as shown. If you have a blue wire or lighting positive common connection on your decoder, connect that also. If not, add an additional wire between the red track and the pickup. Well, we've got a blue, so everything's handled by the decoder. Decoder colours are pretty standard across the board for their wiring colours, so they are standard. So what we need to do is, I believe that this is pad 1, this very little one here, and that's pad 8, I believe. The pictures are pretty tricky to see. There's no real way of seeing which one is which, just because of how they come up from the boards. But this one has got H1, so I'm presuming that is pin 1. Pin 1 is supposed to be the motor right. Then we've got lights, Then we've got track power left rail, motor left, direction, lights common, and track power right, I believe. There's no markings on these to say, oh, there might be actually. This very end pin is pin 8, then we've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So I'm trying to work this out because that doesn't make too much sense to what we've actually got here. Pin, so they've got 8 as the red, yeah, and then next orange, which is 1. Yeah, so it does make sense. Right, well now I know what's what, I think we can start to work on it. And hopefully it all works. Still don't have wire cutters, so I'm still on. I don't use these for nails anymore. They've gone a bit blunt. So we're going to cut all these wires off. Now we have to be very careful when stripping these because I've had it before and they have a habit of coming off the PCB because everything's very small, so a lot of heat in the wrong area will cause a lot of problems. So this number 8 here, they've got down as their red wire, which is the track power, so red wire first. Bearing in mind I have to take this into the loft to test it. Right, so I've taken some of that off, so I think we'll get some solder on the circuit board first. I'm hoping that that is an option. But my soldering iron is nowhere near as good as Sean's, so we're just going to take that body out of the way as well. So that has taken to the circuit board. So I will need my multimeter as well at the end of this, just to make sure there's no bridges. I will need to put, I could put a bit of tin on this, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. So that is connected, so that's the red one. I am just going to follow, so PCP pad 1, which is the next one, should be the orange wire. Yeah, so it is the order that's in that photo, so I'll go off the photo because that's easier for me to keep up with. So next up is to get the yellow wire ready. Right, let's tin that pad. I've not got a lot there, but hopefully it's enough to make it stick. Which one we on? Orange, aren't we? Orange, yeah, I did the yellow. Just get the orange one ready. Now this decoder is also a cheap decoder because I didn't want to spend a fortune on a decoder, not be able to do it and blow it up. My hand is boiling with it there. It's just not taking. I don't want to heat the wire up too much. That's got a bit of solder on it now, so that should actually catch quite well. Right, I think what I'll do, I'll just pause a minute. I'm going to go get my multimeter and we'll test as we go. And if there's a problem, we can fix it as we go rather than trying to fix it later down the line. Try not to burn any wires. I don't really need to see the screen. I need to hear it. So if it's shorted, it'll beep. That's good. That's good. That's not so good. What is that pin? Orange motor right. That might be correct if that's how it gets its power down to the motor. Which is motor right? Pin 5. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So does this one go to that one? No, so that one is shorted out to the chassis somewhere. You occasionally run across these problems, especially if your soldering iron's not very good. So the yellow one is on the next pin across, which we just need to melt both of these together. without introducing a short between the yellow and the orange, which I think I've done. The other thing is these wires are very, very, very thin. That's all good. That's good. Right, next one is the black. Black one. There we go. Do the same again, put a bit of solder on the pad and then we'll solder that, put a bit of solder on the wire. There we go. That's that one on. There is a gap between them. I can see there's a gap, so that's not a problem. Grey is the next one. Why they use grey, I don't know, because grey and white are very similar, especially when you're taking a photo of it. Now there's no guarantee this is going to work. I could plug this in and it go bang, because that wiring diagram is different from this wiring, right? But the colours are normally standard. It is a Bachmann. Grain Farish is Bachmann. It looks the same circuit board, just the pins are in a different place, so it should be the same. Alright, stick a bit on this grey wire. Yep. So far we've only messed one up. Next is the white wire. So while I've got hold of the soldering iron, we'll just pre-tin that again. A bit of heat in the board. That's too much. Should do it. We could test for a short in a minute. Right, white. Stick the white one on. Now this is where the fun begins. I have a green wire on this, but not on there. And normally a flying lead is purple, but that looks like the green is in the position of the standard flying lead. So I presume it's correct. Because the other thing is, although all decoders tend to be the same, they all have their own little quirks to what stuff does. And normally a flying lead is for other functions, and they're normally purple. Where this one's green. So I might have to have a look. And the annoying bit is on most decoders there's actually nothing to signify who's made the decoder. Done it. There's a lot of solder underneath there though. Gonna have to use the card trick, I think. Oh, let me get another bit of scrap card. Tilt this up. I don't know if that is still connected underneath or not. Right, but that's what the image on the website shows. So, we're at beat mode. There we go. So first of all, the chassis, clear, 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 not clear. But let me just make sure. So red. What's red? Track power. So I'm presuming that these take the track power. Because then what's the other track power one? Black. So black is connected through to here. Yeah, right, so that they're all good. Right, let me just make sure. None of them are shorted to each other. everything seems hunky-dory. So hopefully that is everything done and wired in. I don't understand the green wire, which isn't used. It's an extra function button. So yeah, green's not used, it's an extra function. So at the moment, that can be just tucked out the way. Once we know everything works, I will snip it, but for now we'll leave everything as it is. Then I'm gonna have to wrap this circuit board, and then we'll put the circuit board somehow in there like that, out of the way, and then lid on, and then we're all good. But I need to just wrap this end up first. There is a foam board, so not too fussed about it being able to touch everything else. It's just these pins here. Don't think I'll need the soldering iron now, but let's go and test it and see if it blows up, which is common for me, or it works. So let's go and have a look. So I've taken my other Loco off the line just to protect it in case something's wrong here. I've got Loco 3 selected. I'm going to turn the track power off while I put it on the track. So then we're safe. Spin that over there. So that is nothing's touching one another. Everything appears to be good. So let's turn the track power on. Well, it's not gone kaboom. We have lights. Do we have motor? We've gone. Yep, we have directional lights. We have motor that way. Motor that way. Right, that's enough testing. Let's get this isolated up, body back on, then we'll test it fully. Whilst it's like this, it is just a nightmare of short circuiting dangers. That circuit board only has to touch this track. That power jumps a little bit, boom, it's gone. So let's sort it out so it's all isolated, it's all safe, and then we can run it round and see how it works. Back in the loft. Loco's back on the track. It's not gone kaboom. We have lights. We have tail. In fact, the headlight works okay on the side that's not actually seated properly. I think it is. Tails. Head. I think on the side that's not seated properly, I think the one that's not working. Oh no, it is. It's there. There we go. I think the wheels need a clean. It's getting better. As well as the chip's going to need programming and what have you. I'll have to read the chip and find out what's going on. EMC. So it works fine at a decent speed. So it could be dirty contacts, it could be the CV table that's set up in it is incorrect. But we can only speculate at the moment. So, but I think we'll park these on this track here for a photograph, and we can charge this camera up whilst I come up with a plan for the next episode and what's going on over there. So as you've seen over here on clean track, it's much better performing. So over here must be quite dirty at the moment still, which it's fine. That side hasn't been used in a while, so that's like expected. I was running up and down this line pretty much, but we'll sort out cleaning it all out. But over here it has been kept pretty clean, so that's not really a problem. But there we go, you see, just not that in there's quite dirty. So yeah, there we go. So I've got my 37 a little friend, because it can't be lonely now. So that's not bad. I'm quite proud of what I managed to do. I know it's not really an achievement because it was DCC friendly ready, but it's still very small and a lot to do. So right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.
Little trains in a big world, moving slow, chugging through valleys where no winds blow, painted hills and plastic trees, quiet whispers of old memories. Little trains, little dreams, rolling softly through the seams, tiny tracks in a giant land, guided gently by a steady hand, accurately built with a craftsman's care.